In 1471, England was going through a difficult time during the War of the Roses, as the Lancastrian and Yorkist families were fighting for control of the throne. The Battle of Tewkesbury took place on May 4th, and was one of the decisive battles that affected the course of the war. King Edward IV led the Yorkist army against the Lancastrian forces, and the battle resulted in a crushing victory for the Yorkists, which changed the course of events in the kingdom. Before the battle, the atmosphere in the Yorkist camp reflected a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The soldiers gathered under the banner of King Edward IV, who was determined to restore his power after his return from exile. The flags were flying, and the voices of the soldiers were rising as they began to prepare themselves for battle. On the other side, the Lancastrian forces under the command of Edmund, Earl of Richmond, were preparing for battle. They felt confident because of the large number of soldiers, and they were gathered around influential leaders who symbolized their legacy. The atmosphere was tense, as everyone expected the battle to be decisive. As dawn broke, the battle began. The Lancastrian soldiers advanced boldly, trying to advance towards the Yorkist lines. The sound of swords rose, and battle cries filled the air. The shields glistened in the sun, reflecting the ferocity of the battle. Both sides traded blows fiercely, as fighting raged at every corner. Bodies clashed, and the ground was covered in blood. Amidst the chaos, there were many heroic moments as the soldiers showed incredible courage in the face of death. King Edward took advantage of his military experience as he skillfully managed the battle. He used the terrain to his advantage and focused on the weak points in the enemy's ranks. These moments reflected his strategic intelligence as the situation began to change in York's favor. As the battle continued, a sudden shift occurred. York's forces were ordered to launch a powerful attack on the Lancastrian flank, causing their ranks to collapse. The atmosphere was tense as the Lancastrians began to feel hopeless and anxious. The Lancastrians began to retreat, while cries of joy rose from the Yorkist ranks. The battle was in chaos, with some soldiers trying to flee, while others continued to fight. This was a decisive turning point, as York's victory was confirmed. Amidst the chaos, Edmund, Earl of Richmond, was captured by York's forces. This event had a huge psychological impact on the Lancastrian soldiers, as they realized that the battle was truly over. It was a painful moment that represented their failure. As the battle came to an end, celebrations broke out in York's camp. Cries of joy filled the air as the soldiers felt proud of their victory. But beneath all this joy, there was also a sense of sadness at the loss of life in the battle. The Battle of Tewkesbury had a profound impact on the course of the War of the Roses. The York victory helped to assert their control over the English throne and led to a long period of decline for the Lancastrians. It was the beginning of a new phase in English history. Both sides learned important lessons from the battle. The Lancastrians realized that numerical strength alone was not enough, while the Yorkist forces demonstrated that strategic planning and strong leadership could lead to victory. The Battle of Tewkesbury has become a symbol of heroism and victory. It is remembered in history as one of the decisive battles that shaped the future of England. The moments of courage and sacrifice will be told through the generations as a lesson in the willpower and determination of the people. The Battle of Tewkesbury is over, but it has left a clear mark on English history. It was an embodiment of the human struggle for power, proving that victory comes at the cost of sacrifice.